Hello, welcome back to another episode of the IRONBROS podcast, the first episode of the new year. I'm back, I'm healthy. Feels good to be back, man. How you doing, Kyle?
I'm doing great. Welcome back, Anthony.
Thank you, man.
We missed you.
Yeah, no, I mean, you guys did really good on the last episode with Anton. Wish I could have been there. I had questions to ask him, but thank you, Grant, for covering my spot in that one. Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
How have you been, man?
I've been doing well. I have some stress in my life from other factors like house shopping and some rehabbing of injuries lingering back to our obstacle course back in the day. But that is life. So just very optimistic with 2024, right? A lot of things that have to be taken care of, and we have a couple some of my athletes are now entering prep and some high profile ones, so I just want to make sure that everything turns out really well with them, you know?
Damn.
So yeah, that's pretty much it, man. It's just about staying in a good rhythm, good habits.
Cool.
For I think the last 3 or 4 weeks, I get up every morning by like 5:45.
I wish I could do that.
So it's been different because I'm not used to doing that since like high school.
Yeah.
I'm always one to be a night owl, but I just think the more in rhythm I can get, I just think there's a lot of benefits, you know, digestively, just recovery purposes. If I'm going to bed at the same time, waking up at the same time. So I'm hoping I can eventually just get up with no alarm and just naturally wake up. That'd be pretty sweet. But yeah, just been a change.
I actually want to do that too, the 5:45 wake up. I've been trying. How did you adjust to that?
I just honestly set my alarm, and you know, in the past I used to never really sleep much. It's like 4 hours of sleep. So I would say for the last when I got injured, I wasn't in the gym as much. I had more time on my hands, and I realized I guess I wasn't taking as many stimulants probably because I used to train really late. So I was just always naturally just more tired going into the evening hours, and I just tried to make sure I was always in bed by midnight. And then from there, those first couple of days, waking up at 5:45, I probably, if I pull up my phone right now, I have like 5 alarms. Every 5 minutes it was going off.
Jeez.
So just in case I magically hit snooze and know how to turn it off, another one was going off. And I would just make sure the first thing I would do before I reach over and hit the alarm off, I swing my feet out of bed and just try to make sure like I'm standing up.
Gotcha. So what my issue is I'm a morning person. If the alarm goes off, like I can get up, I'm good to go. Allie's not. But even without Allie, right? Let's just say my issue is I want to wake up early, but since of my schedule with the food and the meals and everything like that, I'd have to bite the bullet on a couple nights of less sleep, which I don't know if that's worth to do because I'm in prep and I'm trying to optimize recovery and sleep. So I guess I could ask you, you're my coach.
Yeah.
Should I try to bite the bullet now further out to adjust it?
I would adjust it now and get your body in a natural rhythm to where you're always going to sleep at 12, waking up at 6, you know.
6 hours.
11 to 6, I'd say. Program 7 hours.
Yeah.
And hopefully, as prep goes on, you know, you're getting a nap during the day maybe or something like that.
Always, bro. I always nap. Come on.
So there you go. You're getting at least 8 hours of sleep a day. But I think that's realistic, again, because people that speak of, I'm going to get 8 hours of sleep. If you want 8 hours of sleep, first of all, I don't know about you, but I can't just put my head on the pillow unless I'm really tired and
I suck
out
at that.
and then wake up. So you're never getting your perfect. You need to kind of plan for that error, I suppose, right?
30 minutes of lying there.
Yeah. And then again, I think getting into that rhythm, you asked like how I did it more. I just make sure I'm not on my phone before bed. That's why you'll text me late. I used to always FaceTime clients late, talk late.
Yeah, bro.
And I realized doing that
Simulates you?
Yeah, for sure. Whether it's the conversation I'm having, my mind kind of going, like staring at the phone. If I go in the bedroom, the phone is on Do Not Disturb, and that's it. And then I'll look at it, you know, in the morning. Try not to look at it right away, to be honest, because then I get like sucked into things. But yeah, I would think if you can get into a good habit now and a routine, by the time you're 8 weeks out, everything's just firing better. And I think that's really important where some people forget. And I think it plays a role digestively to where your body's just out of source to where you're eating until 2 a.m. the one night, then you're up at 8 a.m. the next day. Everything gets out of wonk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something. Sleep has always been interesting for me. Like I can sleep. Kid's alarm went off right now. It was funny.
See?
Nope. It's still going off.
Yeah, you're supposed to wake up right now.
Is it going to? Yep. Jesus Christ. Sleep has always been interesting for me because I remember back in high school, I could either go to sleep at 12 or 2 and wake up at 5:45. That was my alarm actually for waking up. And like I'd be fine. I'd sleep in school, but like I could wake up, do my things, and I'd be good. And I'd take a nap later. But like right now, I guess it's because I always like try to prioritize sleep because I have that extra time. So my sleep waking up at like 10 or 8. Like today I woke up at 9:30. I went to bed at 1.
No, and I think
30
for bodybuilding purposes, again, I can relate because I've competed before.
Yeah.
I've sacrificed sleep and whatnot. But all those national shows, you're on stage early, right? So those
I know,
people
that's
that are
why
used
I
to
want
sleep
to.
until 10, you'd be
fucked.
off stage by now.
Yeah.
Right? So the better you can get in a habit,
Yep.
that morning wake up for check-ins before nationals or whatever show we're doing, right, is not going to be a shock to your body. Like, oh my God, it's 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
It's just like, hey,
It's
I'm
normal.
always
You're
up. This is
always up.
normal.
Yeah, no, trust me, I thought about that. You know what's funny too? So I had a really good night's sleep last night. And I woke up and I felt my waist feel a little bit tighter. Like last 2 nights, I woke up, my stomach still felt like a little pudgy or watery, like not as tight. But this morning, I felt like sucked in and like hungry, ready to rock. So sleep definitely really important.
Super important.
Yeah. What are your 2024 goals?
My 2024 goals. Last year, I said I would start posting more. I need to start posting more. At some
Right.
point,
So you
for sure.
didn't succeed that one last year?
No, I failed miserably, but I blame my injury. That's my excuse. So need to do that for sure. Need to purchase a house. Hoping to do that, so I'm not paying rent and getting raped.
Yeah.
Okay. And win a couple more pro cards. That would be the goal with athletes I've had. Right. I don't look at it. It's nice to get those genetic anomalies that come to me and they already look great, and I just kind of polish the Ferrari a little bit. I like having the people that they were just a normal gym goer.
Call me a Civic.
They grew up.
Call me a Civic.
Prius.
Okay.
So the Prius is fine-tuned and grown up a little bit. But yeah,
Gotcha.
that's the goal from a coaching perspective. I also want to have coaches under me, and then start some type of community or Discord or something that Grant can probably assist me with in terms of capitalizing on the opportunity. Because what frustrates me, right, sometimes the reason I've been kind of absent on social media is now that they have this cool thing called AI, you have these educators.
The coaches online.
Yeah, and they're just, everything is scripted. They don't even got to look at the screen, and it makes it look like,
Regurgitated, right?
yeah, they have no idea what the hell they're talking about. You'll never see them on a podcast. If you actually ask them a question, they can't answer it. It's not a live thing that they're going to do.
Do you have a person in your mind right now who it is?
There's a lot of people, Matt.
I want to hear after this episode.
Sure. So that's frustrating because it's like, hey, coaching is more popular than ever. And sometimes it's almost to the point where I don't even like to say I'm a coach because it's like so watered down to where this person doesn't even have there's no background, right? They have no education at all. So I look at it as your intellect. Where does it stem from? Like, you're self-taught, but you have sucked all throughout your life. You have no degree. You have never excelled in school. And then you're going to go and tell people how to take care of their bodies. And then on top of that, right, it's twofold. At least walk the walk. If you're telling people how to compete, how to do all these things, I'm not saying you have to be a pro by any means. I'm not a pro. But at least be in the trenches so that you're leading from some type of experience, because we sure as hell know it ain't educationally based, right?
No.
So all the regurgitating that is applicable now when you're seeing people speak on different podcasts, on different platforms, that shit's annoying, to be honest. So that's what I see sometimes, and I just refrain from. It just pisses me off, I guess, to say the least.
I feel the same way when you said that, like watered down, like influencers. Think about how popular it's become. Everyone can be an influencer now, right? Yeah. Like when I was younger, I didn't even think. I was talking to Lex Little the other day. He FaceTimed me, and we were talking about when we started in 2019, like posting videos. We weren't saying we want to become an influencer. That was never like a word at the time. It was we want to become a YouTuber, right? We wanted to be a YouTuber, make videos of fitness. And then nowadays, like, yeah, it's like mad kids from my high school, like being influencers in their own realm of niche, whatever it is. And it's like crazy. It's like, holy fuck. Like, yeah.
No, it's just, I don't know. And at the end of the day, like, again, it's not, I don't look at it because sometimes I'm sure people out there will, oh, he doesn't want competition or he's worried. I'm not worried. My resume speaks for itself, but it's more people that are out there that are just it's so windy out. People that are out there, regular gym goers that are trying to get a coach. They're getting approached by people that are trying to use them to just make money, and ultimately they're going to send them down the wrong rabbit hole. And that's what's like frustrating, because it's like, hey, you shouldn't be seeking to make money. I didn't get into coaching to make money, right? I could care less. I could stop tomorrow and go right back to my other career and be well off.
Yeah.
So I guess I have a different why and a different drive as to why I try to help educate people. So in 2024, I hope to just further show the difference between, hey, this is quality and this is how things should be done versus what the cookie cutter approach is, what you're seeing most people regurgitate.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Any other goals?
No, those are the main ones I see.
House, pro cards, probably recovery for yourself, right? Get back.
Yeah, I want to look a certain way for sure. So, like I said, I've been dieting, fixing my sleep, being in tune with just getting back to a diet. It's kind of silly, but for 10 years of my life, I followed a diet, and then when I got hurt, I kind of was just like, doesn't really matter anymore. I can't go to the gym. Like, you just lose that motivation, I guess, a little bit. So I've garnished most of that back, I'd say, over the last few months. And then I also know as you get in, I want to be able to train with people, and it's the point now you're in prep, so I'm like, okay, like I really like to train. Right? I look at this, the last road, right? You're going to win your pro card. I want to be there in the trenches with you, and right now I can't. So I'm hoping over the next 6 to 8 weeks, I'm in a spot to where I don't know, you're not embarrassing me with the weights you're using, and I can like still lead by example when you need it the most, because I think that's something that any of my other athletes, or I guess where I've always found like pride and joy, is being alongside the person, being able to help them. And obviously when I'm crippled and can't do those things, it's like a little challenging.
Let me pause you for a second, because I notice this is a common theme you've been talking about when you mentioned training with me.
Yeah.
You keep mentioning you don't want to be embarrassed with the weights, right? Because you're not as strong as you used to be, or maybe you're weaker than I am now. You don't have to be as strong at the moment to train with your client.
Clarify that, right? So it's not just about the weights, and I don't mean by ego lifting, but it's, hey, I can't. Just the other day, I can't do dips.
Yeah.
I want you to be able to do them. I physically can't do them, so I sure as hell don't want to do them in the beginning of the workout, because now I can't even do the main. We have all our resources. We're going to expend all our energy on these top sets, but I can't even participate because I can't do the movement.
Yeah.
Right? So that's where, again, I have to be selfish, and I need to get myself to that. I have to physically get myself to have the abilities to do these things without getting hurt. And then along the way, make the right decisions and not, do things maybe I shouldn't do anymore based on my age, pretty much.
Gotcha.
But, yeah.
I was just going to say in that realm of just like, like in like any type of coach you see, right? The coach is mainly coaching that person sometimes. They're there like cheering them on.
Motivating
motivating them. But that's cool, man. Good goals.
I think sometimes that's, I don't know.
You think it's cheesy?
Yeah, sometimes it's pretty corny, man. Right?
Yeah.
To a degree.
Depends how the client takes it.
For sometimes, like I said, I mean, I've had to adapt to where I'm always just the one like crouching next to them on a leg press, whispering whatever I need to in their ear to get them going.
Yeah.
But at some point, I reverse roles, and I would look, if it was you were the coach, I was the athlete, and I'm pushing myself more than I've ever pushed myself, and you're still there chirping, hey, motherfucker, lead by example. Get in the seat. Show me how it's done, right? That's what goes through my head. So, I don't know. I'm not saying other people should think that way, because then it puts me in a weird position. I have to get there. But, yeah, sometimes it's just like, hey, let me show you how it's done. Instead of explaining, let me show you.
So, I mean, wow, just understood a lot of your personality there in terms of coaching and, cool.
So, that's what my 2024 goals, but now I have to flip the question here and ask you. What are your 2024 goals?
I didn't, when I went to the new year, I didn't really think of any. I feel like most people post on social media, like, these are my goals. This is what I'm going to accomplish. I'm living life. But I like to achieve things. I want to go pro this year. I want to become a better bodybuilder, because that is my life. I want to have a really cool fucking posing routine. And I kind of want to keep secret from everyone until it's show day and just like be like, bam.
Okay.
So I want to go pro. I want to do that.
What are other areas of life?
Other areas of life would be probably get a house too, man. I don't know. I don't want to rent no more. I threw away like 120 grand so far in rent.
It's a lot.
That's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
And then YouTube, get YouTube back up to where it is. And if I could, not even if I could, another goal for me that I should set for myself would be adapting more to like Reels or TikTok and just like doing the other types of social media forms.
Yeah. I feel, from my personal standpoint, I look at, as much as I want you're not just a client to me, right? We have a good relationship, more unique than I'll probably have with anybody else I ever coach. As much as I want you to physically continue to grow, I also want to see you take advantage. Financially, you could be doing a lot better than you are probably, based on opportunities, because you haven't adapted to TikTok or whatnot. But I want to see you take advantage of those things. I think you should do the right thing financially. Probably invest in something, get a property of some sort, so you're not pissing away rent, right?
Thanks.
These are things I want to see you do, and because if you do these things now, by the time you're my age,
be way
you don't
better.
gotta do a damn thing. You're just like, you're kicking back every day of your life.
Yeah, no, that'd be sweet. Other goals, man. Continue to be healthy. I don't know. That's really it. Social media, continue with my career, be a better bodybuilder, win, be happy.
Okay.
Continue to progress in my relationship, become a better man. Those are my goals.
Those are good goals.
Thank you. But since it was kind of a couple minutes ago, my update on life.
Yes.
You didn't say, hey, man, how's your update? I'll say it.
I'll say it for you. So, hi, Anthony. You weren't here last episode. You were being the man of the household.
Yeah, I was taking care of my
now
sick
that you're
girlfriend.
back, what is your update? How are things been?
Well, for one, I don't know if they could notice on camera or you could, but this shirt is a lot looser than it used to be. I'm losing weight, man. Not a lot. I'm in prep. Prep's been good. It's been 3.5 weeks at this point.
Yeah.
So almost at the 12-week mark this coming Saturday by the time this episode's live, probably 12 weeks out. Prep's been good so far. It's been the main focus of life lately. And no complaints. I mean, you've been taking care of me, right? So for the first 3 weeks, you gave me the first diet, which is really just, I think, like less than 400 calories where I was at in the off season.
Pretty much, yep.
And they got things rolling pretty well for me.
And you lost, just so they were aware to keep up. Like, where'd you start weight-wise? Where are you at now?
I started at like 224.5, I believe. My lowest weigh-in was 219. And right now, I was 220.2 this morning. Mm-hmm. So, no complaints there, you know? Feel good. Nothing's extreme at this point. I could feel the hunger kicking in. Can eat my meals well.
Awesome.
Training's been good. So, yeah.
So things are rolling then.
Things are rolling. I'm excited. Been taking care of myself. Body feels good. No injuries, no aches or pains.
Very well.
Yeah. I'm happy with it. Happy with it. All right. So in this episode, actually a couple episodes ago, we left a Google form in the description, which some of you guys filled out, and it wasn't like too many that we can't go over all of them. So to the first people that did, we're going to go over every single one of the questions. I think there's about like 16 of them. So if you guys want to, we have this Google form in the description. Go and drop a question, a statement, and you can upload photos too. So please upload physique photos and nothing inappropriate because we will be looking at it. So here we go. Password grant. Here we go. All right, so we got 16 responses here. This is number 1. This one's for Kyle. When prepping a client for a show for the first time, what variables are you assessing along the way that help to influence the decisions you make with that athlete coming into the final 2 weeks before competition?
So I think that's a really good question. And
Specific.
So at least how I interpret the question, it's more so leading up to those final 2 weeks to put them in the best position to succeed. Grant, would you agree that's how it was worded?
Yeah.
Okay, so I would say the first variable, which is probably the most important, is are they on track, right? How quick is their body changing?
Okay.
Sometime, and assuming you don't take over shotgun prep for someone to where they just say, hey, I want to get in shape and do a show in 8 weeks. Let's just say we had the right timeline, 16 weeks, right? Maybe that's all we had. The main thing you want to facilitate along the way is the progress from week to week as best we can. Fat loss is never going to be linear, and it's not just dictated by the scale, especially if other supplements are involved. You may notice in the beginning of prep, you have that little recomp phase to where you drop a lot those first 2 weeks, and then you kind of hold steady, but you start to look better and better. Meanwhile, the alarm is going off again.
I'm going to die.
So, anyway, not to get sidetracked, seeing how someone's conditioning is going to be a really important variable. If they're behind at 4 weeks out, being honest with that person, hey, we need to step it up and do these things is what's really needed. That way you're not behind the entire time, or at least you're very upfront with the client. Because for me, I don't think someone should step on stage, whether it's your first time, 10th time, whatever time, not in shape. That conditioning is something you can control. Presentation is something you can control.
Yeah.
Can't control mom and dad's genetics, how much muscle you have. I can control how much is taken off probably, but I think that's the most crucial variable in getting to that 2 week out point is, are they on track where at 2 weeks out, they're pretty much ready. That's an ideal situation. The second factor I would look into is managing overall stress. Have I been pushing this person on a super low caloric diet for, greater than 8 to 10 weeks? If so, there are factors I need to consider, male or female. if it's what is their experience in the past, assuming, like Grant said, this is their first show ever. I always tell people, first of all, whatever day we're prepping for it, prep is like 6 weeks after that. You're still prepping. Don't plan vacations. Don't plan on having a free-for-all, because it's the reverse. Psychologically is almost as important as physically.
Yeah.
So we want to manage that. But trying to stay on topic, when I say manage stress, that involves, if I'm pushing someone really hard, let's just say they've been behind, unfortunately, I know there's only so much we can get to. And if their body stops, and let's just say I don't have any other drugs that can come into the factor that are going to be helpful, I need to be very realistic with my expectations of this final product. If someone's behind 2 weeks out, I have maybe a week left, I can really kind of push them, but you cannot push until the day before the show. You're never going to look your best. You're always going to look a little bit better, a week after, when you have a little bit more food, less on the legs.
Stress, yeah.
Considering the division someone's in, right? Perhaps if they are behind and I need to push them a little harder, as I tell you before, if I'm doing men's physique, I don't care about someone's legs. You could do stairs all day long. It's much harder than a treadmill or recumbent bike, for sure, right? From your experience, a bike is super.
I never did a bike because it's retardedly easy.
I think it's just like
that's a bad word. I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry if you're saying that word.
That's fine. So managing stress. Maybe externally the person's working. Maybe they sit on their ass. Those are two different, right? You could have a twin that's working a construction job. I know realistically how much more I can push that person before I'm going to start to see the adverse effects and the opposite of what the goal is. I'm going to cut their food. They're already not sleeping. I know they're not going to lose body fat. Their weight's going to go up. Mentally, they already feel they're behind. Mm-hmm. Now they're going to even fall further behind. So I'd say those are the most two important variables that kind of help dictate what I can do the final 2 weeks.
You know what, Kyle? What I have to say to that is, what an intelligent response. I don't think many cookie cutter coaches could give.
Thanks, man.
Yep. This one's for me. 2-part question. Thank you to this person. I'll be prepping for a show this year with my girlfriend. What advice do you have to give in terms of maintaining a healthy relationship, bodybuilding balance? And he loves the podcast. So thank you, man. So yeah, me and Allie, this is our second time prepping with each other, and it's been smooth sailing last time and so far this time. The tips I could give for that, number one would be, keep your relationship like romantic, in the term of, like, maybe you can't do dinner dates and stuff, right? But you can still go on dates that are not food related. You could do nice acts of service by helping each other out with food, or a pat on the back, a little note, motivation. That's what me and Allie do. Helping each other out. Allie goes in the posing room and she asks me to record it for her, and I help her out. So it's like little things of helping each other out to make their life easier in prep would really help each other, because they see, hey, you're helping me, they help you, and it's teamwork at the end of the day. So yeah, it's that. That's what I would say. And he has some physique photos. His name's Josh. All right, so he looks like a classic physique guy. Let's see if we can get all the photos up here.
I think so. He's 19, right?
Did he say he was 19? I didn't
feel like the
age.
attachment said 19. You're 19 years old.
Where do you say that? Oh, you're 19 years old. Okay, cool. I think he looks great for 19, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think
Biceps
for someone
look
19, he's way ahead of where I was.
Yeah. I like the physique. He's got muscle to him. His most muscular photo looks great.
Yeah, so I would say the main thing for you, Josh, if you're listening, well, hopefully you are, give yourself time.
Yeah.
I would say 16 weeks to preserve the muscle you have and come in the shape that you need to be in. And also being 19, again, when I say be realistic with your final product, you're not going to look as good as you would 5 years from now, no matter what you do, no matter what you take, because you just don't have that
maturity and stuff. Yeah.
I hate sometimes saying muscle maturity, but you just don't have enough size to where you can diet down and hold on to that muscle. Yeah. You're 19. You just got out of puberty. Some people are late and still in kind of puberty, but you don't have the amount of muscle that you're going to carry in 5 years to where you're going to have a different look being the same level of body fat. But it doesn't mean you can't still look fantastic. All I'm saying is you definitely don't want to rush it and rip off what you've already put on that's susceptible to being lost more so than in 5 years from now.
My advice is looking at the check-ins, right? You could tell he's someone that actually lives and breathes bodybuilding. He's serious about it. He has the black backdrop. He knows how to do the poses. So you're on the right track, man. It's all about patience at this point, right? With me and you both, we're still very young. So you have the muscle there. You know what you're doing, and just keep at it. That's what I'd literally say.
Yeah. No, I would just be very particular with how you train. The more you focus on your training, I think the better end result can be in time.
All right. Here we go. Do a supplement tier list. All right. So let's break this down, Kyle. You and I. Let's do supplements to just like train, like pre-workout protein,
Health
EAAs.
subs, sports subs, something like that.
What's up?
Health subs versus sports subs.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's do health subs and then sports subs.
All right. So what do you want to start with?
I think they're probably asking for sports subs, so let's do that first.
All right. So I would say one of the most important things I'd use, I guess, would be the obvious of using like like some kind of good protein powder in terms of like supplementing. Again, I still think food is better, but as far as a supplement that's going to help go a long way, a quality isolate protein powder that you can digest is important. From a performance standpoint, creatine is the most researched, anecdotally proven supplement to help. So incorporating that will definitely be beneficial. Whether you do a loading phase or whatnot, over time it balances out. Technically, you're supposed to start with some kind of loading phase. Other sports supplements that would be important. I'm trying to fray away from anything that could be health related. So, I mean, those are the first two that come to mind. And then perhaps down the stretch, when you need it, you can use something that has a little bit of caffeine. It's like some type of pre-workout when you need it. But I would stay away from that in the beginning of preps and off seasons. If you're getting the proper sleep, you should have the motivation to come in the gym and kill it. You have a long day, maybe you need a little bit of stimulants, but save the stimulants for when you need them. So I would say, from performance-wise, a quality pre-workout would be helpful toward the middle to later stages of prep.
So here's my rundown. Right, obviously we all know supplements you don't need, but if I was to give you a list of like what could be optimal for muscle growth and the best performance, right? It would be pre-workout, right? If you need it, some with caffeine, some little pump products in there, cool. Creatine, cool. EAAs during your training session. Now, I'm asking you this question with a part of this, right? EAAs, they're essential amino acids, so they're harder to get. Are they in all proteins?
You're not going to get them in most, the essential ones, right?
Yes.
Not BCAAs,
Yeah.
EAAs, those essential ones you're not going to get you're not going to get a lot of it from most of the food you eat.
Okay.
Leucine and stuff like that, you're not going to be obtaining as much from, you just can't consume enough from the natural food. So that would be something that would be.
So that's a great supplement to add since you can't really get it all through your diet. That's why you supplement it. EAAs while you train. I like to have carbs when I train, so that's a Gatorade for me, which could be labeled as a supplement, sport enhancement thing, you know. And then protein also, if you want to have a protein shake instead of having chicken for a meal, that's it. That's all I would say.
So let's just recap and rank them, just because I tried to skip, so I knew there would be things that you would say from experience. In order of preferences of sports supplements, the key, if someone had to say, hey, I can only afford 3 or 4 supplements, sports-wise, performance-wise, what would they be? I would assume the person's diet is okay, so I'm going to skip the protein powder, skip the carb powder. Do I think it helps? For sure, but let's just assume they're getting enough nutritionally, and they just need to add a little bit more on top. I would say creatine's really important.
Glutamine?
I'll put that with the health section. From a performance-wise, we can say an essential amino acid would be probably important. And what would my third be?
For performance enhancement for a pre-workout, caffeine's actually a vasodilator. Yeah. So, it constricts, right?
Constrict blood flow at high caffeine. But if you're tired, that's why when I say pre-workout, I'm assuming it's a product that is going to have your citrulline, your glycerol, those main pump agents that are going to facilitate better workouts.
I feel like we made this so complicated. But yeah, creatine, EAAs, pre-workout, the typical shit.
That's the sport ones I would go for. And
health subs, you take this over.
So for health subs, again, you want to...
Well, let's do one for one, actually. You name one, I name one.
Okay. So first question, is the person enhanced or not? I'll leave my core supplements for natural versus enhanced.
All right, let's do enhanced.
Curcumin, right?
Curcumin, sure. Great one.
Turmeric, right? Depending what brand company there is. Overall, what this is going to be, it's going to help with an array of different things. For those of you that aren't familiar with it, simple Google search will give you at least 10 positives of intaking this and how you don't get enough from food, regardless of what types of food you use or condiments like mustard, anything like that. Ultimately, it decreases inflammation in the body. Systemic inflammation in the body will break down everything. for a lack of better words, the most simplistic way possible. You want to decrease inflammation. If you're prepping, low calories, pushing yourself in the gym, not recovering, inflammation rises. Once inflammation rises, it starts to have an array of downfalls thereafter. So that'd be my first one.
I would say omega oil, fish oil.
Right.
Yeah.
That'll also help for sure. Number 3, I would say looking more around the gut, something digestive enzyme related supplements. So not specifically to digestive enzymes, but let's just assume glutamine, very easy, cheap supplement for someone to buy, is going to help with overall healing of the gut line. Okay. So something like that is super cheap and very effective. Good bang for your buck to put in, whether that's in the morning and things like that. So I would say that's a crucial one for health related. A quality multivitamin.
Sure. Oh, we're going for 2 for 1 now?
2 for 1, yeah. Just because glutamine kind of you touched on earlier. So
you said a multivitamin.
And then name one more as far as an everyday person. Is there anything else that comes to mind?
NAC.
Okay.
Because it turns into glutathione in the body, which is a really good. What is it again?
What I would say is, now if someone is enhanced, right? Now I start to worry about their organs. So that's when I'm going to use something like Tutka, a good liver product that's going to have NAC and Tutka in it sometimes, right? You get a little 2 for 1 there. Those would be the most crucial ones I would add in. If someone is enhanced, you want to protect your organs.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, bodybuilding ends very early for you.
Yeah. I already took it away, but
It's fun.
It's great. Good stuff. All right, let's
fix that.
Let's go through these a little faster because I have a haircut at 12:30.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna leave at 12-ish.
What time are we at?
Well, we have 36 minutes left.
So 31 fix. I got him.
Question for Kyle. Best way to do a long-term bulk 4 years period of time. The person needs more size. They're 5'10", 200 pounds, 17 years old. Been bulking for 5 months, gained roughly 7-8 pounds slowly. I'm with a coach now, but due to money issues, we'll be having to coach myself in the next few years until I'm ready to compete. In the future, when I'm financially stable, I would love to have you as a coach.
Sir Kyle will love you in the future too.
Here's Max. You can see what Max looks like right now. Oh, he's from here. That's right there in the posing room. Hey, Max.
We said he was 17, right?
Yeah, 17.
Oh.
We got mass to him. See, he's bulking.
Yeah, I mean, well, first and foremost, Matt's his name, right?
Max,
I'm sorry. So, Max, you're 17, super young. Definitely, 200 pounds at 17 is...
That's big.
You're a big boy. So, I wouldn't set a time limit of 4 years necessarily. I would just say you want to have quality workouts, follow some type of nutritional plan. I'd say at least 85, 90%. You don't need to be a robot and sacrifice what I would consider to be crucial years of your life from 18 to 22 are very important years, whether someone's going to college, first time living on their own, maybe both. Set yourself up to enjoy training. Don't make it feel like a chore. If you do these things, you're going to progress no matter what from just being in the gym. Progress as long as you can naturally. Don't feel that you need to, just because you want to do bodybuilding, you have to incorporate other unhealthy supplements, because that's what it comes down to. Bodybuilding, at the end of the day, they're unhealthy no matter which way you slice it. And I would just look to maximize your potential, and you're going to do that by being really consistent with your training and nutrition and not coming in to iron every day, seeing what someone else is doing, and then trying that. Do your own thing and don't try to copy other people.
Good answer. I liked it. Next time you see me at the gym, Max, say hello. Okay, you guys are the best. Super pure and good people. I've been following Anthony for years now, and I've always been an awesome fan. Thank you. It's been awesome to see him grow up. I met Kyle at my show in Jersey, and he literally went out of the way to compliment me and help me pose. Literally the nicest thing ever. He had his own competitors in the show and took the time out of his day to help just some random kid he just met. I'll never forget that. That meant everything to me. Would love if you guys could rate my physique, please. I'm 19, 5'6", competed at 165 in the summer. I'm currently planning on doing a nationals next year. Thank you. Well, his name's Justin. Justin, that was very nice of you. Thank you. Here we go. We got some photos of Justin. If they load. Oh shit! This is the kid that won teen.
This kid's very good.
Yeah, he looks fucking really good.
Hello, Justin. I appreciate you supporting me and Anthony here with the podcast.
Yeah, man.
Always a delight when I come across you.
Don't look at. Hang on.
Grant, you don't know who this is, right? Okay.
What the fuck?
17.
17.
He won teen bodybuilding nationals.
17 or 19? 17. I think he is 17. Yeah.
Wait, what? No way. Oh, he's been following me since he was 17. He's 19.
No, so regardless, he is super impressive, right? So when I saw him backstage, he had just come off stage. I had the guy that won overall here. I had in the show, Nick. If you remember, Nick Pereira, one of my clients. So he won that show, and I saw this kid, and I couldn't help but like he was a couple poses that were a little iffy. So when I saw him backstage, I was like, first of all, man, like you look phenomenal. I didn't know he had won teen collegiate. I just was very impressed because you never see someone in this level of conditioning. Yeah. So I mean, speaking for the obvious here, right? I think Ray Charles could see. Okay, if he could see, it's
Ray Charles.
Yeah.
Ray Charles. Who the fuck's Ray Charles?
If you don't know who Ray Charles is, how do you know who Ray Charles is?
Ray Charles.
You need to like delete this clip for sure. How do you not know who Ray Charles is?
Bro, you should have said like, who's the other blind pianist?
Whatever, man. Ray Charles is like the most popular pianist I could think of. But anyway,
I guess
that's wild.
Isn't it like Stevie Wonder? It's just a Stevie Wonder, bro.
Anyway.
No, keep that in, bro. I'm not ashamed of that.
Justin looks he looks phenomenal for his age. So I think the sky is the limit for him. This level of conditioning to be achieved at such a young age is not very common. It reminds me of Anton. So I think just putting on size, building his back, for example, polishing his posing, just a bigger upper body overall. He's got a light years to go. So the one thing I've already cautioned him in person last time I saw him, and I will say it for everyone else, is don't get so caught up with having to have a certain amount of mass added to your frame. Be patient because you don't want to blow out your waist. You don't want to become unhealthy. You want to be in this for the long haul. So longevity is key.
You look awesome, dude. Thanks for being a big supporter. At the end of it all, what's the one thing that keeps you going? What creates a dedicated mind when motivation is gone? Congratulations to Anton on the IFB Pro. I'm coming for you, bro. Physique at 16-year-old, my Instagram. Okay. What's the one thing that keeps you going? Discipline?
Me?
I guess, yeah, I'm asking you first, and I'll answer. What creates a dedicated mind?
So I think the most important thing is you want to be a doer, not a sayer, right? It's very easy to say, oh, these are my 2024 goals. As always, it means absolutely jack shit if you can't put them into fruition, right? So having a series of habits that are going to allow you to be true to yourself and not lie to yourself, I think your relationship with yourself is the most important one. And that's not being selfish. That's just, if you can't show up for yourself, if you can't set those goals and stand by them, who are you to educate someone? Who are you to criticize someone else? Because look within. That person in the mirror, if you can't show up for that person, you have an issue. So I think ultimately motivation is going to come in waves.
Yeah.
You hear something, you get real motivated. Tomorrow, you don't hear it, you're not as motivated. So what it comes back to is your drive and your driving force and the why behind what it is you're doing. If you don't do it for the right reasons, if you're trying to compete just to get a picture, trying to make money, don't compete. You're wasting your time. That's not the reason to compete. If you want to challenge yourself, physically and try to get in better shape and live a healthier lifestyle, then yeah, maybe you should consider getting into fitness, into the gym a little bit. Doesn't mean you have to compete. So it comes back to, if you tell me you have a goal of achieving your pro card, the why. And if that doesn't have enough to have inspiration for yourself, then that's not what you should pursue. You should look for something else.
Yeah, I like your answer. My answer would be, as a person, I've always wanted to be good at whatever I put my, what I'm doing, because why would you not want to be good at, So it's just dedication. And I think as a man, like, you're trying to become a better man in a lot of aspects in terms of your own self and whatever you're doing, whether it's work or a hobby or a goal. All right, I'm 15 natural, looking up for the next Mr. America contest. Is there a Mr. America here?
Apparently.
How do you think? Fuck, dude. It sounds so. We're not laughing at you. I'm laughing at Kyle's response. All right. How do you think my current physique is? I'm 6 foot, 155. Honest opinion. I also just want to say you guys are a real big inspiration. Keep it up. Did you say Jesus at the 6 foot?
What's that?
I thought you said Jesus.
No.
I was
thinking that, to be honest.
All right. We got another Ben. I'm getting the photos up. Hang on. All right. 15 years old, natural. All right. So what I could say to you, man, is you remind me a lot of a 15-year-old like I was. I wasn't as lean as you were. I was bulking up, and I was actually kind of fat at this point. But at 15, you're not going to see muscle that you see on, for example, like someone like me or someone like Kyle. You're young. You probably just got in the gym within the last maybe 2 years. So what I would tell you to do is continue to bulk up. Maybe, I don't know what the Mr. America show is. I don't know what organization it is. If it's a goal of yours to compete, I'm not going to tell you not to. Go for it. Do your goal. But in terms of longevity in bodybuilding or growing your physique as a whole would be keep having fun with it, right? If this competition is going to be fun for you and motivating for you to see yourself on stage and then give yourself like a placement point, say this is the start. Let me see what I could do now in 4 years or X amount of years, then go for it. Physique, I mean, you have good genetics, right? You're lean. Looks like you already packed on muscle. You looks like you have good obliques. You're a taller guy. It's going to take out a little bit to fill out your frame, but it's not going to take too long. So you're not a freak like 6'5". You're 6 foot, which is good. And you're 15, so you're probably still going to grow. So, yeah, I think it's a good teenage starting point.
It's a good teen starting point. I would encourage you not to compete at 15, 16.
Yeah, I didn't.
Again, that's not me trying to. It's not, hey, prove me otherwise. It's just you're very young. Take this time that you're going to put into cutting down and preserving the little bit of mass you've really, really been able to build at your age and continue to grow. That way, when you do want to cut down, you really have something to show for. You're already well ahead of anyone else 15 probably that I've come across. So take that for what it is. But the stage is always going to be there. What do you get out of competing at 15 that you won't get out of 18? So that's my personal opinion and how I would go about it. Doesn't mean it's right.
Yep. All right. So, Kyle, for you, when you were competing and in corporate America, did your managers ever get upset when you had to get up and eat your meals during work?
No, I run shit. Yes.
Really?
For lack of better words, because it's a priority thing, right? So if we're in a meeting or something and Kyle gets up to go to the bathroom, aka go to the kitchen and get a shake and eat rice cakes, that becomes a bit of a nuisance, right? So I think, again, it's about priorities. And, this question, I like the way it was phrased in terms of, how to have that balance. I think it's being honest with the people around you. So my manager was very well aware of what I was doing. But because of the seriousness and what prep does if you're trying to compete at a higher level and incorporating any other kind of supplements, it takes a beating. So again, factor in working 2 jobs, not getting much sleep. My productivity when Kyle's not competing versus when he is competing, definitely not the same. It's not possible. So at some point, whether it was because of meals or, hey, Kyle's just like lackadaisical, not doing what he should be doing, it becomes a nuisance. But again, having that conversation and just trying to make sure it doesn't, maybe depending what profession you're in, there are busy seasons and not busy seasons perhaps and cycles. Plan accordingly. Talk to your manager, talk to your team and say, okay, I'm thinking about really doing this. Indirectly, this is going to affect perhaps my output at work. I will do my best to do my due diligence and having a proper good time management skills so that it doesn't, but that's the reality. And then at least, again, gives people the expectation. And I'm very big, more so as I'm getting older, on kind of under-promising and then over-delivering. So if you're very upfront with this is what you should do, what you shouldn't do, when at the end of the day, if they're expecting you to kind of suck and you're doing really good, awesome. But my recommendation would don't try to fly under the radar and not tell anyone what you're doing, because at some point they're going to catch on like, hey, you look like shit, what's going on? Or you're doing a horrible job. Like, why are you so tired all the time? That's inevitable if you're truly getting in less level shape. So you need to be honest. And I think that having that balance is realistic.
What the fuck are you under promising me?
So without being selfish, okay, under promising you would come down to me telling you how often I'm going to train with you or something like that, right? Under promise, hey, 8 weeks from now, I'll kind of be able to train more. Hopefully it's before that. Something simple like that. But I'm saying as far as a corporate question,
I see.
You understand. Next.
All right. This person wants to be a full-time bodybuilder, not working 9 to 5. Would you recommend a career in fitness or just increase income outside of it, investments, remote jobs, etc.? I mean,
go ahead.
Listen, I'm not a financial advisor, but what I would say as a third person would be if you could get income everywhere you possibly can, it'd help you out in life, right? You don't need one job. You could have multiple. And if you have the time for it, you could do multiple. So if you want to, at the moment, right, say you're working a 9 to 5 and you want to do your social media to hopefully get some sponsorships to make some extra money and then try to build that up to then live off it, you could do that as well as doing some investments in remote jobs. Would I recommend a job in fitness? Probably not.
What do you think my response will be to this question?
Your response? You would say FaceTime your boss and quit in another state.
It wasn't a FaceTime, okay? It was a meeting. It was well overdue. Would I recommend a career in fitness? Fuck no. It's very watered down, as I mentioned, and at the end of the day, I'm very big on diversifying your portfolio, okay? Be a well-rounded person. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, because right now you love bodybuilding. God forbid, maybe what happens to your physique if you get hurt? What if you jeopardize your health because you're so gun-ho on competing? Now what, right? So you set yourself up for failure, have a career outside of fitness, and maybe you can have a side hustle in fitness, but again, the more diversified you can be as a person, the better overall you can be. I think it just leads to better success.
Great answer. This question's just for me, man.
Go right ahead.
Ant, does your intra workout ever make you more thirsty? Yeah, for sure. It really depends. What I notice, it depends on my hydration before my workout. So when I used to do one meal and train and I had my intra workout, which was carbs and EAAs and creatine, I wouldn't be able to actually finish that intra shake. I'd always struggle to finish the 20 ounces of water I had in there. But what my typical hydration before I work out is I do my cardio. I drink about 45 ounces of water during cardio. I have breakfast, my first meal, and I'll have maybe, 20 ounces afterwards, and then pre-meal, and then I usually don't drink after. It's just pre-workout, and then I train. I finish my intra probably about halfway through my workout, and then I fill up I probably have another, honestly, something like 40 ounces of water throughout my workout at the end. It's like I get a lot of my hydration throughout my workout now. So that is my answer for you, man. Thank you for the question. So I think this person's asking a lot about their physique here. What areas would you want to prioritize more in my physique, or should I just focus on more overall size? How long of an offseason would be advised someone in my position to take if their goal is to win their first overall? Person's not afraid to get a little fat. First prep, check-in picks, competition weight 172, weight cap 194.
So they're 22 pounds under what they can be. Now let's see what their competition weight was.
Okay, hang on. I got to delete some of these photos from previous. Alrighty. So we have Andrew here. I mean, he has a good structure to start with, right? Good foundation base.
Yeah, so
he has muscle. Let's see.
So his last competition is 172. Could he have been a little bit leaner? For sure, a little bit. But it was pretty quality conditioning for a regional show. Mm-hmm. So he has about 20 pounds he can go. How long of an off season? I mean, if you're really trying to make some serious strides, I'd say 2 years will give you like a very, if you're serious for 2 years, which again, 99% of people cannot do that. If you can do that, you will really notice a difference in your physique. And again, I always tell people, like, I just feel like competing often, it's the one thing if you miss and you're trying to compete, because the timing was off or you're very stressed or something like that. But oftentimes you just need more muscle, and that comes with time and not just a 8-week rebound and 4-week off season and then prepping again.
All right, so I'm looking at the physique here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. So if you take a 2-year off season, what I would do to start is I would focus on some hamstring work, probably some back density and width, like back overall.
He just needs, overall. Yeah. He just needs muscle.
You need muscle, like overall, to begin with.
I think his core is good. He needs bigger legs.
Good. Yeah. I mean, just a 2-year bulk, and just like what I like doing, like what I did my last push or bulk push off season improvement season, was I took like 4 months and I would really focus on a certain body part. So, for example, one time it was quads for 4 months, then I went and I switched it to hamstrings. So, and then obviously whatever strong point you got going for you, like back was mine. I only trained it once a week, and I actually took the weak points and I trained them more. So,
and then he also, I think he mentioned something about not being afraid to get pudgy. Which I think is a good thing, right? You don't necessarily need to get fat to grow, but for some body types, they need to be a little fluffier. But overall, as long as you're keeping health markers in check, you shouldn't get too sloppy. I wouldn't say get 18, 20% body fat.
No.
But, it's a long approach.
Kyle, this person is currently coached by you. They don't have any specific questions at the moment. Just curious, here's some feedback from my competition. This is my first prep, first show, OCB self-coach throughout your YouTube videos. Oh, through YouTube videos, not mine. Well, that's awesome. All right. Hang on. All right, so men's physique competitor. Did you say how old he was? No. Well, considering OCB is a natural organization, man, and not even saying that just because you're natural, you have a great physique, I would say. And being self-taught, that's a huge accomplishment. Let's see if I can zoom in on that trophy. Let's see. I can't see what place you got. But, yeah, man. I mean, it's an awesome accomplishment. You have a great physique to start with. You knew how to pose. You did everything right? I would say.
Yeah.
It's a great accomplishment to do.
So, I mean, whenever, obviously my answer is biased. I work with the person now, so the goal is to continue to just make them better. But I think very impressive and I think I had this conversation with you before. I think it's pretty impressive what you were able to accomplish for your first show. And it just puts the expectations that much higher, because if you were able to do that self-taught, you should definitely be able to stomp on that, now being under tutelage of me. And I'm excited for your futures. But again, like anything, just continue to be patient and execute away.
This person asked, what category does physique thrive in? Nothing. All right, now we're going to say. Okay. All right, Kyle's back from his potty break. So this person says, what category would my physique thrive in?
How many pictures? Just one?
One photo. Okay, so it's a men's physique photo. It's hard to really, I mean, my answer would be men's physique at the moment because you can't see much.
I don't see anything else, and I could just, from this picture here,
It's not like you're a advanced men's physique competitor.
I don't see enough muscle. Yeah. So I would say, like anything, sometimes people choose to prematurely compete, where if they take a little bit of time, right now you don't have enough muscle to, in my opinion, say you could do open bodybuilding by any means. But if you give it some time, perhaps your physique starts to change. But that picture doesn't really give me a fair assessment of how your clavicles, the width of everything, how your waist is. I can't really assess that from that picture. But if you give us a better picture, I can try to point you in a better direction.
No, that's fine.
No,
that's good. So, if you were 25 and wanted to make a career out of bodybuilding, what would your steps, if your stats are 5 steps, be? If you're 5'6", 205, under 15% body fat, but 2,800 Instagram followers, and only 222 subscribers on YouTube, you have physique photos. So, to start with, my best answer is, before we look at the physique photos, your personality means a lot more than physique in anything. If you're trying to get sponsored or sell a product, I know I can think of fitness influencers or anyone in my head, a couple people in my head, that do not have anything close to a bodybuilding physique. They just have a personality, and fuck you, I'm not saying who. And they sell a lot of product because they grew such a loyal fan base.
Yeah.
So that is my first advice. Now, looking at your physique, you're a bodybuilder. You have a great physique. That's an awesome vacuum shot. That looks sick. To start with, right? You have a great physique, but now here's the thing, right? Many bodybuilders, in terms of supplements or any sponsor, they don't sell that much, and a lot of the people, like the younger kids that have a personality, entertainment on YouTube, sell a lot more than those just professional bodybuilders that look the part, because you have that personality to talk to your viewers, to have them relate to you and trust you that what you're selling, it's not even like, oh, this product's the best. They just they like you so much that you're taking that, they want to take that.
Yeah.
So it would be you just gotta, the best answer, and it's so cliche, is to be yourself. And if you could milk some part of yourself that people would really enjoy, do that. If that makes sense.
No, I think the only thing I would add is, if you're trying to make a career out of bodybuilding, I wouldn't say it's necessarily influencer based. Continue to craft the physique, because oftentimes, let's just say the person, I don't know, they're foreign or something, right? They can still develop a great following because the physique speaks for itself. So the more time you put into your craft of just designing your physique how it should look, I think that will gravitate and catch people's eyes. And then from there, as you mentioned, your personality and stuff will do the rest. So I would just encourage you to continue to maybe be consistent on social media, but be more consistent with how you approach your training and nutrition, and design that physique how it needs to look to get those eyes.
All right. So we got a question here from Matthew. Last year, I unfortunately dropped out of prep due to mental health issues from the passing of a family member. Sorry for your loss, man. I was 4 weeks out, 184, 5'10". I'm a natural athlete. I'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback.
Are these pictures, I guess, probably from when he was 4 weeks out?
Let's assume it is.
Yeah.
So 4 weeks out. Probably not bad for an OCB or a natural organization. You can see you have tissue on you. I think I've seen like some natural guys with crazy conditioning.
Yeah.
The feedback I would give you is you look like you got some size to you. You probably grew some more since then, right? Since obviously time has progressed. I would tell you to probably get leaner for your next competition. Maybe give yourself some more time because I've seen some guys get nasty shredded. And that'd be it. And I'd say in your back pose, looks like you're kind of scrunched up like this. Yeah. It'd be try to push your lats out to the sides, be like really far, like towards the walls. He's got to work on that pose.
Yeah, so I think for 4 weeks out, I would say his conditioning's behind for someone naturally, or someone that is natural rather. And then as far as what's a glaring weakness, I'd say with your physique is developing your back. So I would just make sure that you're really paying attention to your technique and not obsessing over the small, minute details like a one-arm lat pull down, but more so understanding how your back is going to work with a rowing movement so you're not shrugging, you're actually getting overall development. So focus on some back training, giving yourself a longer duration next time you prep.
Yeah.
And then use your experience, your unfortunate experience, the passing of your family member to your advantage moving forward, and a driving force to get past that next time, because you could definitely do even better next time out if you were able to get to that with everything going on.
I like that. All right, last question here. Where do you think I should improve in my physique? I've been trying to bring up my back in my offseason. 25 years old, lifetime natural, been training for 11 years. Planning on doing one more natural classic physique show in May, then I'm deciding if I'm going to enhance myself. I'm excited to see this person. 11 years of training naturally. I'm curious to see what this looks like. All right, here we go. We got Jake over here. What he asked specifically said his back, I believe. Determining his back was awesome. All right. All right, so I think you're on the money with what you want to improve. Obviously, you can improve everywhere, but I think back is probably the weakness in your physique. Chest looks like a pretty strong point in the physique at the moment. Arms, bicep looks good. Shoulder looks pretty good. The back definitely is missing some density there, right? And the back shot as a whole.
Yeah, so I mean, the first thing I guess I'd look at is, can someone put on muscle? You carry muscle, right? You're missing some muscle on your back, probably because it's more of a mechanical based thing. So again, how you're performing your exercises, it doesn't matter how often you're training back. You could train it every single day, but if you're not actually engaging your lats, your teres, and pulling the way you need to pull weight if you're rowing, then you're not going to really get anywhere. So I think break it back down to the basic level. Very few exercises. Make sure you're executing them properly, and then make sure when you start to ascend on the weight stack, if it's a pin select machine, or add weight, you are not going back to the poor habits. So kind of just break it down to a very beginner-based level and reprogram, rewire. It's going to take some time, but if you do that, you're clearly capable of putting on muscle with other body parts, so I don't think your back couldn't do the same.
Mm-hmm. One other tip I would give, maybe I don't know because this information wasn't provided, and we can't talk to you right now. But another weakness I would say in terms of presentation on the stage would be your core's a little soft, right? You see that over here is a little soft. Now I don't know if you train abs, but if you do already, maybe up the frequency or maybe change some movements. Some people aren't a fan of it, but I used to do weighted abs, and I actually have incorporated again in this prep. I've done weighted ab. What is it? It's actually the machine. You know, like your feet get locked in the top and you're like this, the crunch machine.
I would just shy away from like oblique training with heavier weight.
Yeah, I would say definitely try to get your abs a little more prominent this way in that front pose there. You could see every single line, and it's not faded as it is a little bit in this shot.
Abs are like any other muscle. Sometimes people just forget that. They don't train them.
All right, so that is it for all the questions, I believe, right? 15 out of 15, yeah?
Yeah.
So, cool. That was a fun episode to do, right? Caught up a little bit, answer some questions.
Yeah, is that where we're cutting it?
Is that where we're cutting it? Probably got to give an outro and shit. Shit. All right. So we're going to end the episode here, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in again in this episode. We are your hosts, Kyle and Anthony. Our sponsors are Young LA. You can use either one of our codes, code SIR, code ANT, or code GRANT at checkout. Thanks so much for tuning in. See you in the next one.